Howdy everybody, DrankisDank here with another episode of the Leanback series. On the screen in front of your face, got some Alan Wake gameplay. Pretty awesome game. If you haven't checked it out, I would encourage you to do so. But this particular video is not about the video on the screen. It is about what we're talking about. So I encourage y'all to sit back, lean back, put your ears on, and tune in, because we're going to talk about things more than just video games. We're going to talk about some nice little things to ponder and some life lessons kind of thing. So welcome to the video. Today I've actually wanted to talk about this for a really long time. There's just a lot of you know what's funny is the concept of donation has become such just a, like, if you start talking about donating, or you start talking about money, or you start talking about this or that, you get into this spot where you're just on really thin ice by the community. It's like money and donating have become just this taboo subject that nobody wants to talk about or deal with head on, and that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, donating is something, you know, in its purest form, donating is something everybody should always do ever to make the world a better place. Now, don't jump to conclusions and assume what I tried to, like, what I'm really meaning when I say donating here. In this video, I think what would be healthy as an exercise for us all is let's set up a definition of donating. And then let's, dig into, what does donating look like on YouTube, in the internet community? What fraction of asking for donations as a content producer is quote unquote okay, or what, at what point do you cross a line? All these are questions that a lot of people are trying to ask and answer, and I think that they are good questions. I think you should definitely figure out your own stance on the topic. I know mine pretty clearly, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. Feel free to disagree. But let's start with, what is donation? You know what? I'm even going to be smart and look up on the Googles. Let's do this. Let's go to dictionary. Yep, there it is. Donation. Something such as money, food, clothes, etc., that you give in order to help a person or organization. Here's another one. Something such as a blood or body organ that you give to us. Okay, so we're not worrying about organ donation. But here we go. Something such as money. Notice it's not just money. Something such as money that you give in order to help a person or organization. So already, in order to help, I think that's already kind of the first little point that's backing up my initial statement, is that if everybody donated more, then the world would be a better place, because that means we're just trying to help each other out. But again, I'm not near done yet. Often you hear the word donation, specifically in the YouTube community, on the online community. You hear donation, you quickly think to, how much money am I paying? Who's it going to? Do I get anything in return? Yada yada yada. Like, if you're a content producer and you're thinking about opening up some sort of donation link, something like that, you have options. You can say, hey, donate to me. You can try and talk about it in every video. You could be like, hey, if you guys want to help me out, you can drop $5 in my PayPal. Buy me a sandwich, whatever it is, however you want to look at it. Or you could, just have it there, not talk about it, see who wants to, it's basically like you can market your donation button, and that's not necessarily wrong. I've certainly seen scenarios in which I did not agree with how a particular content producer did market their donation button. And then actually, you know what, I'll bring up a point right now. A few weeks ago, maybe even it was probably a few months ago, Dinnerbone himself put out a tweet, and he was complaining about how so many people are using the word donate when they honestly should just be using the word buy. And he has a great point. He says, so many people in this community are offering things like, hey, if you donate $20, we will give you a t-shirt. Pause, back it up. That's not a donation. Sure, you know, here's something that I would rather have you say is, hey, if you buy this t-shirt from us for $20, yeah, that's like 10 bucks over. You know, say the t-shirt would normally cost $10. I say you can buy it for $20, and then I also state that all the you know, proceeds, all that what am I saying? Profit. All the profit goes to this cause, or goes to this YouTuber, or goes, you know, that's perfect. That's worded the exact way that it's actually happening. But to say, hey, if you donate $25, you get a t-shirt. If you donate $50, you get a high five. If you donate, you know, setting up this reward system for donating is basically what Dinnerbone was getting at. And it's really like, hold on, guys, don't call it donating at that point. In my, sure, it didn't say it in Webster, but I think most people can agree, donating is not only just giving in order to help a person or organization, it's also giving with no expectation of getting something in return. Let's take it to YouTube. Let's bend donating. Right now we still have been talking about money, and I say we split the subject. You know, in that dictionary definition, it said it could be money, food, clothes, etc., etc. What did I just say? I don't know. Forget about it. We're gonna keep going. I think the biggest thing that so many people miss out on is, oh wait, okay, no, maybe I shouldn't go there yet. Let's start here. Say you go to a restaurant, right? Or you do anything where somebody does you a service, and there's always a transaction that happens. You know, like I go to a restaurant and I pay money in order to get food in return. Okay? And YouTube, believe it or not, is a transaction. I'm going to sell it to you guys. YouTube is a transaction. It's not just you get to watch videos for free. It is a transaction. Why? Let me ask you this question. How much money is your time worth? If you are a person who's worked in a full-time job, or you're a person who, or at least it has worked in a formal workplace, if you're like still in high school or middle school and haven't gotten to that yet, then it's maybe not the first thing you think of. But definitely if you're a full-time employee, the first thing you may think of is you may answer that question along something like, well, I get paid $10 an hour. I get paid $12 an hour. So boom, that's how much my time is worth. And I say, you could probably even rethink that even more. You could think about it this way. You know, how much does your employer pay for your time? Not just how much does your employer pay you. Think about it. Your employer, say you work in a warehouse, right? Or say you work in a small office building and there's 20 employees in there, and every employee in there that's working in that particular section of the office building is making $12 an hour, something like that, blah, blah, blah. You know, things could vary, whatever. Sure, they're paying the hourly wages of all those employees. Your employer is taking that out of, you know, like that's part of their expenditure. They're paying for the employees' time. They're also paying for the lights for the employees, the air conditioning for the employees. They may be doing some sort of, hey, you know, you get these benefits, you know, dental, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's so many things other than just your hourly wage that your employer is paying to have you there for an X amount of time. And when you really add all that up and you factor it in there, you know, your hourly, the cost that somebody pays for you to work 1 hour, or for just an hour of your time, you know, we'll look at it that way, isn't just that $12 hourly wage. It's probably double that, more than double that. So when you watch a YouTube video that's 30 minutes long, let's say that that person's time that we've been, this imaginary person, whether maybe it's you, maybe it's me, this imaginary person that we've been talking about, we do all the calculation, the fine nitty-gritty calculation for that, and we figure out that their time is worth $25 an hour. Somebody would put out $25 for an hour of their time, their employer, whoever it is. So when you go and watch a 30-minute YouTube video, you are using time that somebody would pay you $12.50 to use otherwise. Well, they wouldn't pay it to you, but they would pay $12.50 for that 30-minute interval of time that you just chose to watch the YouTube video with. You are making an exchange, your time for entertainment. Sure, you're not putting a $5 bill into their PayPal account. You're not doing this or that, but on the other hand, this still is a transaction. It's not like a donation. I'm not giving you my time for nothing. No, like if you're watching a video, you are giving the 30 minutes away and you are receiving entertainment or education or whatever it is in that particular YouTube video. I'm just thinking about the Let's Play genre, so let's say this is entertainment. Then let's think about it, okay? So there is a boom, there is your chunk, there's your transaction. So now, at what point does this become donating? Let's talk about donating and what donating can look like in our YouTubing community. You've got, well, let's start with, the clear answer is, hey, there's a donate button on their page. I click on it, I drop $5, $10, $20 into their PayPal account. And that is, by all definitions, a donation. I gave money, didn't expect anything in return. I'm doing it for the good of that particular person, or to help them. And so, by all definitions, that is a donation. Now let's look at a different kind of donation. What if I choose to watch the entire 30-second or 1-minute ad before their video, and I don't hit the skip button, I don't use ad block, I don't do something like that? In this case, I mean, sure, it's possible that I would be giving my time in exchange for something that actually interests me, like that advertisement may actually end up being something I'm interested in paying attention to. Maybe it's a new video game coming out, maybe it's something like that. But it's not impossible that ends up also being a transaction. But more than likely, some advertisement on YouTube, it ends up being something that you are not interested in. So you are just giving that time away, with the knowledge that that time that you just spent, and again, we already said your time does have a monetary value on it. You just spent that extra minute of your time in order to help that person, that content creator. You are not expecting anything in return. That, guys, like, just break down the definition of donation, take it back to the beginning. Watching an ad at the beginning of somebody's YouTube video is a donation. Sure, it's a smaller one. It's not dropping $10 into their PayPal account, but it is a donation nonetheless. You are helping them with no expect of getting anything back from that ad. If you do by chance, good for you. I'm sure maybe you are interested in that video game that they're advertising, or maybe you do need a new Gillette razor, or I don't know. So there's a donation. Boom. Okay, let's move. Next subject. Donating is good. Alright, so let's think about this. Donating is good. We want to help each other. We want to be a big happy family. Of course, I think everybody can agree. We want to help each other out. And if it takes 1 minute of your time, sure, we just put a monetary value on your time. Now let's flip the switch. How much is 1 minute of your time? And how much would that benefit the content creator? Or how about this? How about this? This is great. Here's something great. One other form of donation, you ready? Hit the like button. That's donating. What are you donating? You're donating like space. If you're a person that, you know, has people actually paying attention to your particular, you know, your feed of liked videos and this and that, you are giving your internet support. I'm not sure you could put a monetary value on that as easily as the time. You're clicking one tiny little button and helping. Again, it's a donation. You are helping the person that is making that video. Cool. I'm a bit on a ramble now, so let me bring it back home here. And let's move to... Oh shoot, I had these thoughts so much better organized in my head. Let's move to who should donate what. Okay? So now that we've defined, all right, you know, you have donating time by watching an ad. You have donating in a much, like, it costs you so much less, but at the same time, you also you also arguably help them even more is hitting the like button. You have the monetary donation. You know, you can drop $10 in the PayPal account or $5, and so now let's get back to money. Let's move back to money again. If I said that you had an opportunity to eat lunch with Brad Pitt or George Clooney or Jennifer Lawrence, just like with no expectation of anything super cool happening, you just get to eat lunch. Would it be crazy? And you know, actually answer this question. If you're sitting there and the only condition, well, no, okay, hold on. Let me back this up. Would you pay for Jennifer Lawrence's lunch if you had the opportunity? That's the question I should ask. Or if you know, you want to put Brad Pitt, you want to put Ryan Reynolds, anybody, you want to put Eddie Murphy, like literally fill the blank, some famous person. If you had a chance to pay for their lunch, would you? I know I would. I think that would be cool. It would be this awesome way to be like, hey, your stuff is awesome. Let me buy you a damn ham sandwich. Like, I think that's a simple and completely reasonable, and like it's a personal thank you. It's a completely, like, it's not nonsense or anything. It makes sense. Be like, hey, you know, thank you for this. I'm going to give you this in return. And it is a donation. I'm not saying, oh, I'm giving you this ham sandwich in exchange for a promise that your next movie is going to be the best one you ever did. No, it's... So let's bring it back to that PayPal account and the drop in the $5. If you've got $5 of extra, you know, expendable income, and you're sitting there at the end of, you know, you got your paycheck, you paid some bills, you got your groceries, and you got, you know, $20 just willy-nilly sitting there. You already put some away in savings, blah, blah. You did everything you need to do, and now you've got an extra $10, $15. And is it really so absurd to be like, you know what? I'm going to use this money to say thank you to these people on YouTube that are putting out great content. That are putting a lot of their time, by the way, since time has money on it, and it takes, you know, depending on what kind of video, it could take 1 hour, could take 10 hours to make a video, and then you compare that to the whole the little calculation we did before about how much time or how much money is somebody's time worth. That $10 is nothing less than just a smile and a thank you, and it's great. Like, it really is. It's one of those things. It's so snobby when you think about it. If somebody's like, oh, well, this is my $10 and they're just putting videos on YouTube, so I'm going to keep this in my pocket. And by the way, guys, I'm not saying everybody should throw $10 at everybody. That's not what I'm saying. Remember, I said if you got expendable income, if you have, like, there's no reason you should be donating money if it doesn't make monetary sense to you and your life. Don't force money out of your pocket because you think it's the humane thing to do. All right? If I called the freaking number every time I heard Sarah McLachlan sing on the radio about puppies, or not the radio, the TV, then like I'd be broke. You know, it doesn't make monetary sense for me to be shelling out money for puppies every day. Is it a humane thing to do? Yeah, sure. Is that the right thing for me to do? No. So again, I'm not saying everybody should throw $10 everywhere, but I'm saying if you have $10, why not spend it on that puppy? Why not say thank you to some content creator that puts in so much time for very little return? Why not buy them a ham sandwich? That's a simple question, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, at least on that point. Yeah, just a thank you, and it doesn't even. Another thing, I mean, I understand if somebody chooses to donate in this fashion, but at the same time, I wouldn't do that specifically. As you know, somebody's like, well, this person's content is better than this person's, so I'm gonna give the better content person $10 donation, but I'm gonna give the slightly less quality content person a $7 donation, and you try and get all stickler about it. And like I said, you know, I'm sure there's some people out there that think about that and do that. For me, it doesn't make that much sense to me. Just personal. You know, this is completely a matter of opinion. You can look at it either way you want. For me, a thank you is a thank you. If one person's putting out ridiculous, again, this isn't a transaction. I'm not paying $10 for their content. If that was the case, I would pay more money for the better content. Of course, you know, you pay what you like. That makes sense. But as a donation, $10, you know, a ham sandwich is a ham sandwich, and a thank you is a thank you. And yeah, I wouldn't measure that out as much, but yeah. So there's a little side note about, once again, a little difference between donating and buying, and yeah. So that's what I have to say about that. So the question is, should you donate? The answer to that, I think, after everything we talked about, is if you've got expendable income and you're not donating it to something else, and and again, also stress the importance of saving money. You know, take your paycheck, take a little chunk of that, and put it in a savings account. Not just figure out how you can spend every dollar of your paycheck, even if it is in a constructive way to spend that dollar. I promise you do want to save. So yeah, at the end of the month, you know, you've got money sitting around. Saying thank you, buying that ham sandwich, donating monetary goods, and donating money, that's a great thing to do. If you can't do that, saying thank you is something that your mom and dad always taught you to do when you were a little kid. Like, you know, please and thank you, boom, there you go. Internet might as well be the same way. I know it isn't. Internet is a harsher climate, and there's a lot less people that care about your feelings, but at the same time, it should be. Why not? We can make the internet a better place. And so say thank you. Doesn't have to be with a monetary. It really, really, really doesn't have to be with $5 in a PayPal account. It never has to be that way. All right, you can come into the video and spend that extra minute of your time to watch an ad. That's a way to donate. You can hit the like button on all the videos, and not, again, you know, this is another stickler thing. Like we were just saying, oh, I'm going to pay $10 to the guy that has better, to be like, to be, I understand if you've got a bajillion YouTube subscribers, and even if you've got 1,000, and you know, like every time I like a video, it shows up in my subscribers feed if they have that little thing checked, whatever. That's annoying, you know, so I'm not going to spam likes on everything I see. But if you're not some big YouTuber, being a stickler about your likes, I think, is kind of ridiculous. Because it's not, I mean, if you're spamming likes as a big YouTuber, again, you're just clogging up people's subscription feeds. But if you're giving out likes freely as just a regular YouTube user, it kind of it doesn't make that much sense to me. If you're like, okay, so say for instance, I like watching Doc M. Doc M comes out with one video that isn't particularly as exciting as another one of his videos, and I'm like, oh man, I mean I like to support Doc M, but this one wasn't up to par, so I'm not gonna hit the like button. No, it's just a matter of, hey, I want to support the guy, I want to donate that little one click to help him out. Once again, I get the idea of wanting to like things that are actually good, especially if you have people looking at your likes, but at the same time, you also have to ask yourself, like, am I gonna be that pretentious and pompous to say that, ooh, this particular video didn't deserve my like? And instead of, you know, we could be thinking about it as my like is my support for the person, not because they have to hit the bullseye on every single video. So yeah, that's my bit on what it looks like if you are donating. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about, and of course this is a topic that, you know, some people agree with, some people disagree with, and whatever, is how should a YouTuber or a content producer go about acquiring donations, or how should they treat blah, 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 blah. This is a better way to say it. How should they treat receiving donations? You know, you've got options. There are content creators that would just drop a little link on their YouTube channel saying, hey, here's the link to my PayPal. If you want to donate to me, you can. And then they never say anything about it ever again. There's the YouTubers that will give you a donation link and remind you about it every video, which, I mean, it isn't necessarily wrong by any means. It can seem obtrusive as a viewer, I know that, but it's not necessarily wrong, in my opinion, to be, hey, remember there's a donate button there. If y'all want to hit it, you can hit it. It helped me out, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, we've all heard it in different videos. Like I said, obtrusive, but not necessarily wrong. Maybe not the best move as a content creator, because you may incur the wrath of hate from some people. But, you know, what's it worth to you, I guess, is the question. And then you've got things like Patreon, which so many people, you know, because there's this, Patreon is a donation system. It's not a subscription system. I think people need to get that clear. There's so much hate towards Patreon because people are saying, oh, you know, blah, 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 this is another scheme to get people's money, blah, blah, blah. Guys, Patreon's just a cool way to donate. That's really it. It's so cool. And you guys, and by the way, side note, you guys know I don't have a donation, like, good luck trying to donate me. If you somehow find a way to send me money, that's either creepy because you know my address, or you accidentally just sent $5 to the wrong person. So I'm not talking from a, oh, this is donation, this is how you should pay me money. I'm just talking about in general, and you know that I'm not biased on this because I don't even accept donations, because I would rather you give that ham sandwich to somebody else who needs it more than I do, or deserves it more than I do, or blah, blah, blah. You get the point. So yeah, no, we've got Patreon's just such a cool way to donate, because you've got this thing that you can be like, okay, I know that I will have that little bit of extra expendable income at the end of the month, and I know that I want to support this person, and I know that, and like, bottom line, if Patreon ends up being a scam, it is never because the person opening up the Patreon thing, well, okay, I shouldn't say that. I could definitely see some people abusing Patreon in some way, shape, or form, but it's never Patreon's fault. It's either some abusive use of it, from the content producer, which, by the way, I've never seen firsthand, and anyone that I know or have seen on YouTube, I could imagine it. You know, somebody has Patreon and then is very whoremongery about getting patrons. But at the same time, I don't think anybody I know or have seen have abused Patreon on that system. What I was getting to, the point that I wanted to get to, was if Patreon is getting abused or misused or taking money from people that shouldn't be giving the money away, guess whose fault it is? It's the people that decided to sign up for Patreon even though they probably couldn't, or they shouldn't have, or they felt pressured into, or maybe they are only 14 years old and think it would be a good idea to put that Patreon swipe on their parents' credit card, or whatever it is. Once again, that's not Patreon's fault, and 99 times out of 100, that's not the content creator's fault. Looks like I ran out of footage here, so I'm going to ramble on for maybe one more minute, and then we'll put this to rest. But, yeah, guys, donate. Donate. How about we just stop even using the word donate and just start using the word help, right? Because donate, it just has this sticky taboo web around it. And so many people cringe or freak out or get very, very one-sided about, you know, this or that part. Guys, that's ridiculous. We're talking about helping each other. Whether your donation is an extra minute of your time, or a clicking of the like button, or, yeah, even that 5 or 10 or whatever amount of money that you feel comfortable and you do it. You know what I'm saying. Whatever amount of money that at the end of the month you actually have to give away to help somebody else. All of these things are good things. Yes, there are people that have abused the donation system and used it and broken the word donate. I'm not talking about that today. There are those people out there. Most definitely there are. I'm not talking about collecting donations, and I'm not talking about the people that abuse those systems. Today, I'm just talking about you as a viewer and as a donator. That is what the focus of this video is about. And I hope each and every one of you has a fantastic day. Go give to somebody. That's my challenge. Give away. Give to somebody else. Just help them with no expectation of return. And why not? Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Again, I hope each and every one of you has a fantastic day. Adios.